Hey, Ann Coulter, if you haven't gotten her new book, this is the book you got to get. It's called In Trump We Trust. It's a bestseller already, but make sure you get it. Ann Coulter's new book. You can go to, obviously, Amazon or any place. Or just go to AnnCoulter.com. You go to her website, you can get it there, AnnCoulter.com. Ann Coulter, how you doing?
Fantastic. How are you, Mark Simone?
Nervous.
About the debate or the election?
No, tonight, the debate. This is the fight of the century. The whole thing comes down to this hour and a half tonight.
Well, I do hope Trump does well, and he can do well by doing just one thing. Don't be distracted by the questions about his personal baggage, and you know perfectly well, and I hope Donald Trump knows perfectly well, Wallace's job tonight, Chris Wallace's job, the moderator's job tonight, is going to be to take Trump out. As we now know from that New Yorker article on the sexual harassment lawsuits against Roger Ailes, Rupert Murdoch called the Fox moderators before the first debate and said, "This has gone on long enough. You've got to take Trump out." So do not be, if you are still under the illusion that Fox is the pro-Trump station. No, Rupert Murdoch, George Soros, the Koch brothers, they all agree. They want open borders. They want job-killing trade deals. That's fantastic for the elites, very bad for the American people. And I don't know if you saw it. I didn't see Saturday Night Live, but I saw a short clip. I love that Alec Baldwin is playing Trump. I've got to go back and look at all these clips. I think he's hilarious and doing a great job. But there was one where they were doing the last debate, and they have the Anderson Cooper character asking the Donald Trump character, do you think you're a good role model for America's children? And Alec Baldwin says, no. Next. That would be a better answer. That would be a better answer for Trump. Get back to the issues that the media is trying to get you to stop talking about. Both the Republican Party and the Democratic Party are all part of the ruling class against the people. And as long as Trump talks about his issues, he wins.
Okay, but do you think, a lot of people say this, at some point he's got to show some humility, be humble, he has to ask the American people for their vote. Do you think that's true, that he has to do that tonight?
Yes, but I think that isn't as important. I mean, a little self-deprecating humor goes a long way. I don't think that is as important as laying out the case. That it is the elites against the people. Everything fits into that rubric. Hillary hiding her emails, which are the property of the American people. They belong to the American people. Congress passed a law. And what does she do? She's hiding them from the American people. Now, slowly, and then when they're subpoenaed, she smashes the computer. Continuing the good fortune of military contractors with these endless, pointless wars. It isn't George Soros going to fight these wars, but you get a lot of people, a lot of the experts, the foreign policy community on TV and their advice much sought, lots of government jobs being created. How is that helping Americans? I was the biggest supporter. I was bigger supporter of the Iraq War than Donald Rumsfeld was. But looking at what happened to it, would you do it again? America has spent enough time now trying to save the rest of the world. We have to save ourselves. All of these issues, it's always the people against the plutocrats and both political parties, which the plutocrats own.
Now tonight is I give Chris Wallace credit for this. Supposedly tonight, for the first time ever in any of these debates, he's going to bring up immigration.
Oh, hallelujah!
First time any moderator.
The issue that has rocked this campaign. Think of that, Mark Simone. This is going to be one of 3 90-minute debates. We've already had 2, and there has not been one question on the issue that has blown up this entire presidential race.
Well,
That's
you remember,
amazing.
In the beginning, they went after Trump for the wall. That's all they went after him for. I think they finally figured out through all their collusion that was actually helping him. So you notice for the last 6 months, they never mentioned it again.
No, that's right. I mean, Trump keeps bringing it up in speeches. Somebody asked me, I know, it was Bill Maher on Friday night, said, how come he's not talking about the wall anymore? And I said, he is. Watch his speeches. He'll give a 60-minute speech. There'll be 5 minutes denying all of these 11th-hour groping charges. Most of it will be on his policies, but yeah, the media will go in and report the 5 minutes. I mean, poor Trump, he has to be, as I've said before, he has to be the candidate, the party, the opposition research, and he has to be his own media. That's a lot of work, but tonight he's got to concentrate on talking about the issues. In fact, I wouldn't even answer Chris Wallace's questions if they are not related to the issues. Chris Wallace is not. This isn't the Chris Wallace show. This is a presidential debate between the two major candidates of this party. Chris Wallace is the guest of Donald Trump. As long as Trump doesn't interrupt Chris Wallace when he asks his question, I don't want any interruptions from Chris Wallace when Trump is giving his answer. And he should just say, that's a very interesting question, but now I want to talk to the American people about something important, and launch into a discussion of TPP, of the pointlessness of the Iraq War, of how Hillary wants to start an endless series of wars with the eager acquiescence of Paul Ryan and the other Republicans, about how both political parties want to continue this breakneck importation of Muslim immigrants with zero vetting. There can be no vetting. All he wants is extreme vetting for immigrants whose religion teaches them that we are infidels and they want to kill us. Stick to the issues. Do not be distracted. If he can just remember that, forget the humility and anything else. He is a humble person. He's given up his life to try to save this country, and he has to make that clear to the American people.
Okay, but wait a minute. He obviously, on the issues, they've decided he wins on the issues. That's why they never bring it up anymore. That's why the media, they never go after the issues anymore. But doesn't he, aside from the issues, he can win on that. At some point, people have to feel comfortable with him. I mean, the independents. So he's got to look a little human, humble. He's got to win over the independents with his warmth.
I mean, you can be right, but I think he actually does have a very winning personality, and just being himself works, and not being rattled works just fine. He's funny. That's why, you have 30,000 people coming out to hear him at these debates. But I think even the stupidest voter, if they hear him calmly presenting what the issues are, will understand all of these attacks on his personal baggage are designed to distract from that central fact.
Yeah, but at some point, doesn't he have to make a little speech about what he is as a father, what he's been like as an employer with his 15,000 employees, how they've stuck with him for years, his stability?
I know you really want this. I would rather have more details about that wall. I really would. Let the rest of us. People have seen his family. We've seen so much of his family. Everyone knows who Ivanka is. Everyone knows who Melania is. Everyone knows who Eric and Don are. They know about his businesses. Other people can say that. I mean, if he does it, okay, fine. But as far as I'm concerned, that is 60 seconds being wasted not talking about bringing jobs back.
Yeah, but if he has would you agree, if he has a terrible performance, something goes wrong tonight, he's finished?
Not really.
All right, what if he has a phenomenal performance and Hillary slips up a little? Is she finished?
Well, the media will never admit that. So other than you and I, whispering in closed rooms, no one will ever know. I mean, he totally crushed it at the last debate. And don't believe this nonsense about online polls don't mean anything. You can only vote once. This idea that people are just obsessively going on, voting. But moreover, say Trump supporters are the ones doing that. Can't Hillary supporters do that? She's got hundreds of millions of dollars from Wall Street, from the plutocrats. She couldn't. They have bands of interns listening to every Howard Stern tape, finding every hot mic. They can't find somebody to hit some. In fact, maybe they finally figured it out by the third debate. Even if he has a magnificent, perfect performance, the media will lie. So how much does it help him? It's all about the issues, and I think Trump voters understand that. They need to convince any naysayers to not be distracted by the shiny objects the ruling class keeps throwing up, to distract people from what this election is about.
All right, well, we'll see tonight. Ann Coulter, you're going to come back with us later in the week.
I'm coming in the studio.
Oh, my God.
I know. I'm stalking you. I'll be there Friday, I think.
Okay, Friday. And then that should be it as far as we'll know what's going to happen on Friday. We'll have seen the.
I don't think we're going to know until election night.
Well, but I'm just saying, after tonight, by Friday, it's the next day's too early. But by Friday, we'll know where the public is, what they thought of the debate. We'll see
Maybe I got to tell you, I don't mean to sound like a nut. And I don't want this played back to me, but I'm very suspicious of the polls. I mean, you and I have talked about the media has been throwing, and the ruling class have been throwing everything they have at this guy since he announced. Why would anyone think that they wouldn't fiddle with the polls?
Oh, I don't mean the polls, but we'll just get we'll feel the mood on Friday. Anyway, Ann Coulter will be back with us on Friday, but make sure you get her new book. It's already a big bestseller, but it's a really good book. It's called In Trump We Trust. And where should they just go? Can they go to AnnCoulter.com and get it there?
Yes, and demand it at a bookstore. If they don't have it, make them order it.
Yeah, but they probably have it. They're just hiding it. Go in and ask for
Right.
In Trump We Trust by Ann Coulter. It's a great new book. Ann Coulter, thanks for being with us.
Thank you. Good to talk to you.
All right, take care.